Hey minions, welcome to Crank It Up. I'm Jim Price, and on this episode of the Gauntlet, I want to talk about zombie elder things. Father Time 89 wanted to know who would be paired with the zombies, and while there are many candidates, I chose the elder things, but started from the elder thing perspective. They had time travelers last time, and time travelers are watered down zombies, so the elder thing would be getting an upgrade as a result. And the zombies had vampires, which makes literally anything else an upgrade, so that works out too. But this combination goes beyond that, as these two factions mesh well together. The zombies can be incredibly powerful, but they have a lot of holes in their strategy. It does seem odd to think of the zombies as a support deck, but they draw strength from repeating the best cards of a team, though they themselves are not always the best targets. The walkers can be pretty terrible at times, and with no movement, they are bad for the zombie lord. You wouldn't choose a Tenacious Z with the zombie lord either, because they can play themselves steadily and the zombies have no movement. Bringing in extra minions is normally great, but at 2 power they can block a more powerful outbreak play. And while the Gravediggers are fantastic, especially when they pull each other from the discard pile, in terms of a burst, you want a bit more power. And like many recursion-based factions, they struggle with their actions early in the game and can result in wasted turns. So the zombies do have real problems. Enter the elder things. Starting with the zombie lord, a frequent problem is that it strands minions on bases and they function like a head start on the next base, but that rarely comes to fruition for me. The elder things solve this problem in 2 key ways. First, Bayakis are a great zombie lord target because they serve a great purpose, spreading madness. For factions that like to spread out, you have a chance of hitting them multiple times per turn, for free, and potentially costing them a victory point. But more importantly, that minion does serve as a head start for the elder thing. The elder thing requires a sacrifice of 2 minions, for a usual net gain of 6 power, but the elder thing lacks extra minion plays to set that up. With the zombie lord, you are effectively setting up half of that in advance by having a useful 2 come into play to provide immediate value, while also dying to serve a greater purpose later on. And while this doesn't change the net loss of power, it does change the net loss of minion, and the Tenacious Z's ability to replay itself further eliminates the loss of minion to the point where you do not lose any minions played from your hand. In fact, if you use a Zombie Lord Revival and a Tenacious Z on one turn, you can start your next turn with an Elder Thing, replay the Tenacious Z, and play a Shogoth from your discard pile for a total of 18 power, a net of 14. Additionally, you can play a second Tenacious Z to have 6 power, then play the Shogoth first, see how your opponent will react, and then finish with the Elder Thing. Having 6 power as a floor for They Keep Coming is really nice, especially since it gives the zombies a chance at something they didn't have before, destruction. Shogoth requires a player to choose between drawing a Madness card or having one of their minions destroyed. Because of this team, both options have good outcomes for the Elder Thing player. While the victim chooses the option, if they choose destruction, you get to select which minion is destroyed, regardless of its power. That alone would incentivize someone to take the Madness card, but the possibility of overrun can make it even worse. You can destroy someone's lone minion on a base, then prevent them from playing there for a turn. Because the Shogoth itself has 6 power, it means the Shogoths can stack. This can mean double destruction, double Madness for a loss of VP, or one of each. But taking the Madness card has its own repercussions, as the Elder Things can manipulate them for other effects. Unfathomable goals will still destroy a minion, just not necessarily the one you wanted. While the price of power isn't as strong in 2-player as it is in multiplayer, it can still be quite powerful if your Zombie Lord Bayakis are giving a player multiple Madness per turn. This means that you can use the price of power as a come-from-behind special, particularly on someone else's turn. Since you only have one copy, it's best to play it to steal a base on someone else's turn, then use the power of Madness to bury their Madness cards in the deck for as close to a permanent loss of VP as the Elder Things can get. Admittedly, I don't like the power of Madness as a double feature, but there are moments to use it quickly. Insanity is a very good grave robbing target because every 2 turns you are giving someone 2 Madness cards, which I believe to be fundamentally different than giving someone 1 card every turn. Additionally, Touch of Madness is good to recur, as you can give someone a card and then immediately recur it a total of 2 times. Insanity, Spreading Horror, and Touch of Madness provide the zombies with reasonable choices for the zombies to use as mid-game actions, which is crucial because the zombies have no card draw and the Elder Things themselves have limited card draw. The zombies are a faction that take time to get going, and it's to their advantage that the game takes longer because they have a better sustaining engine. But one zombie card I rarely use is Lend a Hand. The only time I use it is to shuffle in actions, and I use it selectively. But the chance to shuffle in Insanity and the price of power is too good to pass up. Not only does it continue to compound madness with madness, but you gain back a powerful special that you always have in your corner. Because it's so easy for the zombies to maintain a presence on every base because of the Zombie Lord, a high-grossing power special means that you are never really that far from first. Overrun really does a lot for this combination on lower breakpoint bases. Because it's easy to get those first 2 minions on a base, you could use Overrun to buy you a turn. Unless they have movement, you should be able to get the base by yourself because of the Elder Thing and Shoggoth being played on the same turn, especially with the Tenacious Z. I am always in favor of taking an uncontested base when I can, and given the zombie recursion, it's definitely a no-brainer. The only reason zombie vampires even got close to a victory last year was because of an uncontested tar pits, and imagine what uncontested points means for a faction that can actively take away VP. It's double denial and really puts the pressure on avoiding madness, which means destroying minions, which makes it harder for them to win bases, and the cycle continues. For this deck, each faction still has their own internal game plan, with a few complementary cards to help each other in executing that plan. This means that, after the few initial turns, accidentally drawing only one of the factions doesn't hurt you, particularly because the Elder Things have great self-synergy. Supplementing the team with decent card draw from Migo will certainly help, and the ability to have a presence on every base means that you should be rarely left out of scoring. But this combination can struggle in the first few turns if they draw zombies only, and the wrong zombies. The Elder Thing relies on giving away madness, so factions that can play extra actions can dilute their effect entirely. Factions that can give it back might be even more of a counter, since the Elder Things do not account for madness in their own hand. The Elder Things are also a hand management faction, while the zombies are a discard management faction, so any faction that can disrupt either of these will be potent, particularly since the bottom of the deck is the worst for both. Because of the nature of Shoggoth and Elder Thing, they tend to stay in your hand until the precise moment, and putting them on the bottom of the deck means that this combination may never see them again. While the combination has decent bursts, it lacks any 0 to breakpoint potential, and it requires minion presence for a team that has no movement. This can mean that their plays are pretty telegraphed, as you know that an Elder Thing is not going to appear out of nowhere. Even when it does, you need a Tenacious Z, a minion, and an action leading to an extra minion in order to make that happen, and that's only 10 power. For an empty base burst, that's not really effective or efficient given the number of cards needed. Some viewers have commented that the Elder Thing cannot be affected by other cards, and that's a good thing, but for me that is only relevant during scoring, because 10 power is a very large amount of power creep to be leaving on a base. What's telling to me is that players will rarely bet against zombies. Even zombie vampires, whom I ranked last, got the 19 seed, and over 60% of players last year were expecting an upset over Cyborg Princesses at 14, so confidence in zombies will always be there. Giving them a significantly stronger combination will only add to the hype surrounding them, and I'm excited to see how the public rates the zombies this year. What do you think of the Zombie Elder Thing? Let me know in the comments. Next week we'll be looking at 2 combos that you probably did not think of, and Monday's group is one of my secret favorites that I had to justify multiple times. I'm really excited for it, and I hope you are too. That's it for this team. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let's shut it down.